Welcome to Orchard Lake St. Mary's for the 2002 CYO Basketball Championships, where the Vikings from St. Hugo in Bloomfield Hills will be playing the Falcons from St. Fabian. As is customary at all Catholic League events, the Lord's Prayer and National Anthem kick things off. Hello again, everyone. My name's J.J. Boehm alongside Jeff Hager. Looking forward to what should be a very fun affair as we have the CYO Championships. Two good teams. St. Hugo coming in at 16-4, St. Fabian at 14-5.
Yeah, these two teams met earlier during the season, JJ, and St. Hugo was about a 5-point victor in the Birmingham Marion Christmas tournament, so they know a little bit about one another.
Of course, that was a long time ago, and I know that these teams have made some strategic changes since that time.
Yeah, St. Fabian is running now more of an up-tempo game and a little bit more full-court pressure than they ran. They were kind of a half-court team for the first two-thirds of the season, and Coach Walt Bizdock says it's paying off for them.
Tony Gasparovic, the head coach for Bloomfield Hills St. Hugo, who comes into this one 16-4 and looking forward to doing something that has not happened at St. Hugo, and that's win a CYO championship. On the other side, the Vikings from St. Fabian, coached by Walt Bizdock, they have an all 8th grade lineup, some 7th graders mixed in for St. Hugo, so experience, at least on paper, would favor St. Fabian.
Yeah, that's what you would think, and again, they run a little bit more of an up-tempo game, but I'll tell you what, St. Hugo feels that they can play anybody's game. That's the way they approach the game. They let the tempo dictate itself, and they can adjust, and very confident team is St. Hugo. 5 good starters that they put out on the floor.
Starters being introduced now for St. Hugo. Saw those on your screen a moment ago. We are surrounded by St. Fabian's fans, so we expect a partisan cheer from our section. The St. Hugo fans are across the way.
Well, it promises to be an interesting matchup. As I said, these two teams met at Christmas time, and St. Hugo was a 5-point winner, and they seem to be the team that kind of favored to win here today if you had to pick one, just because they've got a great deal of experience out on the floor, as I mentioned, and a coach in Tony Gasparovic that their athletic director, Kevin Leary, described as probably the best coach in the CYO. He says she's experienced. She's also the associate head coach of the varsity team at Rochester Adams High School. So she's takes a matter-of-fact approach to the game in terms of letting the girls go out and play, playing hard, playing through mistakes. And so she teaches them to be a very disciplined team and not let the little things bother them, because knowing full well that you're going to make mistakes during the game. Don't let it affect the whole game.
And that's so difficult for these players to do at this young, formative age.
No doubt about it. I mean, it's something that's difficult for adult players to do, let alone 8th graders. So it says a lot about her coaching ability and a lot about the way the girls have adapted to that. And that, you know, with a 16-4 record this year, they finished second in that Christmas tournament, and they have won 4 straight games here in the CYO to get to the championship game.
Both these teams, of course, advancing through CYO play to be able to compete for this championship contest. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, the host. Walt Bisdock hoping that his Falcons can perhaps spring what would be considered a minor upset. St. Fabian, a very strong season, but knows that having lost to St. Hugo once, that they're going to be a very difficult team to play a second time. But it also can be one of those things, too, where playing them the second time, you're familiar with what the other team likes to do, and perhaps that can play into your hands and work to your benefit.
Fabian looking to add a second championship. They won in the CYO championship 10 years ago, back in 1992.
And if you notice, St. Fabian has gone with the decorative socks. We'll see if that works for them. Quickly on the opening tip, layup missed inside by Lizzie Hafley, but right away you see the attacking style from St. Hugo.
They would like to run it up and down. That's the kind of basketball they like to play. But who doesn't like to play that kind of basketball?
Princeton.
Good point.
Some contact, bodies flying, but no turnover. St. Fabian holds on to it. Shot inside, off the glass, through for 2 by Jessica Vitalik.
Well, that's a big sign for St. Fabian. If they can get Vitalik off on the go today, that would be an important thing for Coach Bisdock's team.
And St. Fabian, after that, forces the turnover.
At full court press, we got our first look at it.
Pass intended for Vitalik inside again. She couldn't quite get there.
We'll see him pick it up. It looks like a 3-1-1 is what they're going to run to start. And they're trying to trap the ball on the inbounds, but now it's a good getaway for St. Hugo.
Tate drops it off inside, and the basket up and in for Jenna Hart.
You convert easy shots like that, you get a team out of a press very quickly.
St. Hugo goes with a full court press, and they force a turnover. And now back the other way, scrapping for it and poking it away is Ashley Devereaux. Ahead of everyone, back the other way, short jumper, won't go down for Pashuta. And St. Hugo controls. These two teams going end to end in the early going.
Kind of a matchup 3-2 zone here by Fabian. They're going to force St. Hugo to try to pound it inside and maybe force a turnover.
And this also allows both these teams to catch their breath after that very fast-paced beginning. Short jumper in the lane, won't go down. Mazer on the attempt that time. But a good job of penetrating that zone. Anytime you can get a shot inside the paint, that's what you're looking for as a coach.
Almost a tap away there.
Pass poked away, but Fabian controls. We have a 3-second violation called against the Falcons as Vitalik was trying to get free. St. Hugo now with numbers the other way, but it's poked away. Last touched by Fabian, and so St. Hugo will hold on to it.
Lizzie Hafley there got a little careless. She had a couple players up the floor, tried to take it up herself and almost lost the ball.
Good inbounds play, nice sharp cut by Mazer. She missed the shot, but she drew the foul. Very nice cut there. The defense not expecting her to cut right to the rim.
Yeah, you might see Coach Gasparovic's ability there. You know, the better teams at this level run plays off the inbounds because usually it's very difficult for players to get in that habit of picking up somebody before the ball's put into play.
Mazer can't hit the first free throw. The foul was called on Allison Hurt. Mazer trying to give St. Hugo the lead. She does. And once again, the full court pressure applied by St. Hugo.
More of a 1-2-2 they run.
Long up-court pass, nice catch. Shot won't go down for Hurt, but the basketball will stay with Fabian. Nice up-court pass, and Hurt had to leap to catch it and didn't completely regain her balance before she went up for the shot.
Yeah, and she had time to do so there. If she had looked at it again, she had a little bit of time to get it up and down.
Shot missed inside, and then we have a tie-up. Alternating possession, keeps it in the hands of St. Fabian.
That's Bridget Mulroy reaching over the top that time. She is probably their floor leader and the key for St. Fabian here tonight. She needs to get off here and get started.
Pass knocked away again. Both these teams like to get their hands in the passing lane to try and force turnovers. Fabian backs it out. Drive from the right side, it's loose on the court. We've got another tie-up. Both these teams scrapping for every loose ball. That time Pashuta tried to drive in on the right wing, lost the handle.
Well, you're getting an example of two pretty good defenses out here thus far. They're making some good quick decisions, just like right there.
And a steal by Fabian. Ahead of everyone is Devereaux, but it's poked away from the backside by Mazer, who is hustling on the play.
You can see the coaches have really had a lot of influence on these young ladies. I mean, they get back into the play and make plays on defense. That's how you win basketball games.
Shot from the right wing won't go down, and a turnover. Mulroy's shot will not count. As traveling called. This pass poked away. And again, 3 women with a hand on it. These girls are fighting for everything.
But that play started that time by Vitalik. She came in and made the tap away and enabled them to get the tie up. And now Fabian with a chance to go back in front.
Short jumper through for 2 by Bridget Mulroy.
Good sign for Coach Bizdok's team to get her off and running.
Hafley throws it cross court, shot blocked inside. Terrific interior defense by St. Fabian.
Allison Hurt that time on the rejection as she came over to make a play and recovered in time after the pass went in behind her. Great play defensively.
It will result in free throws for Kelsey Tate.
St. Fabian foul number 41,
Bridget Mulroy called for the foul.
Tate trying to even things up here.
A good form on the first free throw, just rattled out on her. That one off the back rim. Rebound battle, loose on the court. And tracked down in the corner by Vitalik. But then she's called for the travel. And she hands off to Mulroy. And St. Hugo will have it back on the turnover.
Tough play over there on the baseline once you come up with that loose ball.
Pass poked away by Devereaux. There have been very few uncontested passes here in the first quarter.
That's great to see. Almost an over and back.
Tate flirting with the midcourt stripe that time. Inside, they work it to Mazer. Her jumper rolls and goes.
Excellent play by Liz Mazer that time. Catch the ball and put it up. A lot of times the players in the center, they're in the lane, want to put it on the floor. It's always a bad decision.
Baseball court pass up ahead to Hurt. He gets the pass. And then a foul called on St. Hugo as Mazer was applying the pressure.
Looked like both Mazer and Hurt that time did some equal bumping, but Mazer picked up the foul.
St. Hugo fouls on number 32.
First foul called on the Vikings. Mulroy gets free for a jumper. Rims out on her. Rebound battle, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Fabian. Hugo will have it.
Vitalik working hard on the boards that time, but it went off her fingers and out of bounds.
Over the top. Hugo with numbers. They get
Nice
it down
pass.
low. And a beautiful bucket by Jenna Hart on the feed from Tate.
That play's set up by Kelsey Tate. I mean, that's an easy put down for Hart when you get a pass like that, a beautiful bounce pass, and it's something that, you know, you just don't see enough of in basketball because it's such an effective pass, the bounce pass.
And one thing both of these teams have been able to do very effectively is get the ball to the middle when trying to break the press. That's so important because it forces the defender to have to defend the entire floor as opposed to only one side.
Jenna Hart's already got 4 points in the game, and I'll tell you what, JJ, if they continue to move the ball up court like that, she's going to get a lot of easy buckets just like that all night.
And she knows where to be. She makes sure that she stays on the opposite wing and gets herself open. There you see the beautiful look-away bounce pass, and then the easy basket converted by Hart.
Bounce pass is so hard to defend because usually the only defense is to kick the basketball, to reach it, stick your leg out and kick the basketball. Very few players can get their hands down quickly enough in order to make a clean steal.
This time Hugo goes with a half-court trap, and it's stolen away by Mazer. This time Tate with a ball fake. She puts up the shot, won't go down, and it's ripped away by Allison Hurt.
Nice rebound by Hurt to come in there and take the ball away with authority.
Mulroy dribbles through a lot of players that time, working it up court. The running one-legged shot by Vitalik won't go down. Now a jumper by Mulroy is through.
Big hoop on the long rebound that time by Bridget Mulroy. She looked very confident putting that basketball up and in.
Good job by Paskowitz just to come up with that pass. Here comes Tate. She drops it off again, and a foul as Hart was going up for the shot.
Jenna Hart playing some smart basketball right now. She knows that with only one player back, she's just parking herself where she can make easy layups or get fouled, and that was the case there.
I mentioned it earlier, Jenna just a seventh grader making contributions in the CYO championship game for Tony Gasparovic and St. Hugo from Bloomfield Hills. Some substitutions checking in now. We have Catherine Alderson coming in for St. Hugo, and Alexis Clayton in for St. Fabian. Hart banks in the second free throw.
Bought a little glass to put it down.
And nearly came away with the steal. Instead, a shot down the lane, missed by Devereaux, but we have a foul called on St. Hugo.
Ashley Devereaux that time going up strong in the middle, in the lane, and you know, 95 times out of 100, the offensive player is going to get the call on that play if you go up strong in the lane and don't initiate the contact.
Devereaux, nice form on the free throw. Little unorthodox in the setup, but very nice on the follow-through. Perfect on both of them. We have a tie game, 8-8 with 1:17 to play first quarter, and a foul called in the backcourt on St. Fabian.
Well, you know, they've gotten Bridget Mulroy out of the game right now because she's picked up 2 early fouls here in the first quarter, and we'll see how that affects the Falcons the rest of the way. We're going to get a travel here.
Called against St. Hugo. The foul was whistled against Ashley Devereaux. And St. Fabian will have it back with a chance to take the lead.
Mulroy came out with just under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. We'll see how the Falcons handle it.
Dangerous pass tracked down by Clayton. And we have a travel on the right wing. Vitalik trying to find an open teammate, took an extra step. And that's one of the secondary effects of applying pressure, is that sometimes players expect it to be there even when it isn't being directly applied. That time Vitalik, though, hustling the other way, knocks it out of bounds.
Almost came up with a big steal there. She slipped her, otherwise I think she would have came away with the basketball.
In the corner, we'll have a three from the right wing, missed by Tate, but the offensive follow through for 2.
Jenna Hart again, she's got 7 points, having a big first quarter here for St. Hugo.
Pass tipped away. Nice recovery by Claire Paskowitz to knock it out of bounds, but St. Fabian will keep possession.
Jenna Hart, that time the benefactor of just a hustle play on the boards.
Clayton kicks it off on the wing. Vitalik will drive the baseline. Her jumper rims out, and the rebound ripped away inside.
Hugo's got one way ahead, but good play that time by Pashuta to get back.
Ball loose. Hart has it again. And on the floor, we have a foul called on St. Fabian.
Well, St. Fabian fans don't like it, but you got to credit Hart that time. She saw an opportunity and just keeps taking the basketball to the hole.
Just 13.6 seconds left in the first quarter.
See if they settle for one here. A 2-point lead. Nope.
Wow.
And it's through for three by Lizzie Hafley.
A bomb that Lizzie threw in there.
Ahead of the floor and getting a return bucket is Lauren Pashuta. And the first quarter comes to a close with St. Hugo on top, 13-10, but a much-needed bucket for Fabian to close out the quarter.
Yeah, Pashuta that time with a big hoop to do the job right at the end of the quarter, because I didn't expect that Hafley would launch that three-pointer right off the inbounds, but she was wide open, looked confident in her shot, and put it down.
That last three, the margin after the opening quarter. But psychologically, you can't underestimate what that late hoop by Pashuta to beat the buzzer does for St. Fabian, because they head to the huddle having scored the last points of the quarter.
Well, and you wonder too, and now when we're going to see Bridget Mulroy again here in the first half, because she's got 2 fouls. She had a basket. Here you can see the inbounds play, and quickly St. Fabian moving the basketball up the floor, and this is just a nice cross-court pass to Pashuta, and you can see the clock in the background just before the buzzer sounded.
And look at how quickly they're able to get it up the floor, and then Devereaux
with just a nice look up, and she put the pass right where it needed to be so that Pashuta didn't have to put the ball on the floor. She just could drop it right in the basket. 5 team fouls, though, right now on St. Fabian, and that means that we could be looking at a bonus situation very soon for St. Hugo, because they only have 2 at this point.
St. Fabian converted both of their free throws. St. Hugo just 2 of 6 from the charity stripe in that first quarter. Ball knocked away. Kelsey Tate thought about the 3, then was quickly facing a double team and had it poked away. Alderson inbounds. Tate in the corner again with that double team, and we have a foul called. And Jeff, this is what you were talking about. The foul is beginning to mount on St. Fabian.
That's Hurt's second foul, and again, just kind of a slap on the arm down low, but those are the kind of fouls that'll kill you as you put a team on the free throw line early here in the second quarter, potentially with the next one.
And now we have another foul called on the wing as Hafley was trying to drive.
I think DeRue's going to pick that one up.
It is on Amy DeRue.
Okay, now they've got it down as team 6th foul. I had it as the bonus. They should be shooting free throws.
And I'm not sure what just happened there.
Well, the officials, the guys the fellows at the scoring table didn't buzz loud enough and grab the officials' attention, but I think we should be in the bonus now at this point. And that's what the coaches are discussing. I'll be surprised if this basket counts. I think they're going to make them earn it at the charity stripe.
17th foul, we're going for the bonus.
And that's the correct call. That's what they should be doing. Because especially they ran the buzzer. I think some of the St. Fabian players heard that. Some of the St. Hugo players heard that, and it was an easy basket. Good call by the officials to get together and make the proper call.
After everything's sorted out, Catherine Alderson will shoot the free throws. Can't hit the first, and a strong rebound inside by Sarah Levitt.
Well, Sarah Levitt needs to come in and give them some big minutes here as Mulroy's on the bench right now. Now we're going to get a foul the other way.
Looked like Hafley.
It is.
Called for it on the wing.
Just the 3rd team foul though on St. Hugo.
So they have a few more before St. Fabian will reach the bonus.
Just an aggressive defense right now by the Vikings. They are all over the floor.
Vitalik tries to bank it in, can't get it to go down, scrapping for the rebound, and Hafley pulls it away. Tate loses her dribble and is called for carrying.
Well, she was either going to lose it by carrying the basketball or lose it by defense, because again, the Falcons getting back quickly on the defensive end of the floor. Not travel there.
Amy DeRue saw the open court and just couldn't wait to get there. Unfortunately, she forgot to put it on the floor.
Yeah, I think she was trying to. It's just her feet got moving a little bit faster than she could bring the ball down. No scoring here in the first minute of the second quarter.
That's in large measure a tribute to these two defenses. Alderson's shot is blocked, and then Vitalik rips it away to keep it in St. Fabian's hands.
She's getting bumped around down there, but now she gets able to get the basketball free. Good crossover dribble that time.
Clayton in the open floor, and now along the baseline, DeRue with the drive, and she will earn the foul.
Well, Amy DeRue that time, not really in a position to make a good shot or take a good shot, but realized that she was getting close to the basket, realized she had her defender on the move, and just went up with the basketball and got the call from the officials. Smart play.
Foul is called on Alderson as DeRue hits the free throw.
And Fabian now with a couple of key players on the bench right now, able to draw within one if DeRue's good here.
Can't get the second one to go down. And Mazer, who's back in for St. Hugo, able to track down the rebound. Also, we have Amy Sturger in. Her pass is deflected, but a nice job along the baseline by Hart to hold on to it for Hugo.
Hafley doing a good job of running things out there.
Mazer called for the traveling violation. These two teams have applied stifling defensive pressure. Mazer with a lunging attempt at a steal, and it looks like she's going to be called for the foul.
Pretty good effort that time by Mazer. I thought she reached out. Her second foul, though, and we'll see how that affects her play.
In fact, it will affect her play by sending her to the bench. Tony Gasparovic doesn't want to let her pick up number 3 in the first half. That pass knocked away by Paskowitz.
I'm just so impressed with the Vikings defense. If you watch, every pass virtually is challenged by St. Hugo. The Falcons have very little time to set up and get a good shot. Every pass just being challenged right now.
Long three-point shot, wide left. Clayton was open, but she was a step beyond the three-point line.
Well, that was a good 20-footer right there.
And bringing it up the right sideline, Paskowitz is called for the foul.
Well, you know, you're going to see high turnover numbers from this game, but I think it's due in large part to the aggressive defenses these two teams are playing right now. As I was just saying about St. Hugo, their defensive pressure, half court, full court, I mean, they've really made it difficult for the Falcons to get a good look at the basket. However, St. Fabian's defense likewise, especially its full court pressure, is just phenomenal. And I mean, they've given St. Hugo fits trying to get the basketball up the court. If the Vikings can get it to half court, they've had a lot of success. They've had a lot of trouble, though, getting the basketball to half court.
Walt Bisdock has watched his St. Fabian Falcons claw their way back into it. They're down just 2.
I think the change from more of a half-court trapping team to a full court and utilizing that team speed's been a good thing for St. Fabian.
Along the baseline, jumper too strong by Devereaux. On the backside, looks like we're going to have an over-the-back foul called.
I'm going to go down and shoot free throws the other way.
And that's where those fouls can really hurt you, because now in a non-shooting situation at the other end, you bring Jenna Hart to the opposite end of the floor with a chance to shoot free throws. Sarah Levitt called for the foul. Free throw for Hart rims out. Rebound last touch by Fabian. St. Hugo will hold on to it.
It's one of those, that time by Alexis Clayton, that's just a tough basketball. You want to get a hand on it, not travel.
The officials all over that violation from Lizzie Hafley. And right now, both teams battling the turnover bug. But a lot of these turnovers have been forced.
Falcons, good play. Oh.
Beautiful ball fake. The shot won't go down for Devereaux.
Devereaux had Levitt all alone on the other side of the lane, though, for an easy layup and didn't get it to her.
And this pass
over and back
gets away from Hafley. Both teams struggling on offense right now.
No doubt about it. That time, it was a great ball fake that time by Devereaux, but she did have Levitt on the other side, and I think just a simple bounce pass would have been a nice up and in for the Falcons.
Alex Hersfeld in for the first time for St. Fabian.
Well, Jenna Hart's been the MVP out here for St. Hugo. Not only has she been knocking down the baskets when she's had the opportunities, but she's coming out and making great defensive plays. She came all the way from the lower part of the lane that time to knock that ball away.
She has 7 points to lead all scorers. We have 3:15 to play in the second quarter, and only 1 point has been scored in the quarter. Loose ball, tracked down by Hersfeld, and then she walks with it.
Got the double dribble that time. 9th turnover now for the Falcons. Again, though, I attribute a lot of it to defensive pressure just like that.
And ahead of everyone and scoring is Alexis Clayton.
Some big baskets from some of the role players for the Falcons, and now they've tied the game right up. Look at this trap right here.
And we
Great
have
play.
a held ball. And now the official making sure that the play doesn't turn too rough with some instruction for both girls. But on the alternate possession, St. Fabian will have it back with a chance to take the lead.
Now Sturger that time put the ball up in the air, and Levitt did the right thing, just grabbed onto it.
Cross-court pass, Devereaux in the corner has her pass tipped away, but she tracks it down. In doing so, however, she stepped on the sideline.
Mazer that time doing a nice job, that time defensively to force the turnover.
Pass over the top. Paskowitz had it in her hands, and it looks as though we are going to have a foul called from all the way underneath the basket.
Well, we're going to go back to 1-1.
Amy Giroux called for her second. And that will bring Lauren Pashuta back into the lineup.
Pashuta's been back in, but Mulroy hasn't. She's been sitting this whole second quarter. That's an interesting strategy right now by Coach Bizdock. It certainly regarded her as their floor leader out there, and they've been able to get by without her.
Paskowitz hits the front end of the 1-and-1. And puts St. Hugo back in front. High arc on the second one, won't go down. Rebound rustled away by Hersfeld. But her pass too tall for Sarah Levitt, and so Hugo will have it back on the turnover.
Well, we got a good look at that one. It went right through Sarah's hands, but she wasn't unable to come up with it, as maybe that pass just a little high that time.
Mazer, one dribble, then back out. They work it inside, but then back out again.
Sturger's going to travel. Didn't like the call, but she was just trying to create some room down there and changed her pivot foot. And when you do that, you're going to get the call all the time.
And Sturger will check out as Alderson comes back in. And Sturger just didn't look comfortable on those two passes in the post.
Well, they were D'ing her up pretty good, too. Oh, there's a big bump. Man, that was major contact there between Mazer and Alexis Clayton. Clayton went down hard on her hip, but she got up. Looks like she's okay.
Mazer, it appeared, lost her balance. And unless I'm mistaken, that is the third foul on Mazer.
You're right.
From the corner, the three is through for Alexis Clayton.
Clayton's come off the bench to give them 5 big points, and hustle plays like the one that just occurred on the foul, she's really made a difference. Travel.
And after a quick breather, Sturger will come back in, and Mazer has to sit down with those 3 personal fouls.
Well, you know, St. Hugo, both teams actually, but St. Hugo in particular have to adjust because the refs are calling that quick ball fake step, and they're not giving it to them, so you're going to have to make adjustments.
Devereaux gets free for a jumper. That's too strong. Rebound, though, saved by Pashuta.
There's Clayton again.
Oh, she hits again. She now has 7 points. St. Hugo trying to go back the other way. Alderson drives down, and she draws the foul.
Well, that was Clayton again. This time she wasn't going to allow her to have an easy basket, that's for sure. But she has really come on and given this team a lift in the second quarter.
Clayton, a long-distance sniper here in the second quarter. It has put St. Fabian in front. And Alexis is called for the foul as well. That's her first. Alderson can't hit the first, but that was the 10th team foul against St. Fabian, so St. Hugo will shoot 2 for the rest of the half.
Vitalik back in, and it looks like with the lift that the Falcons have gotten here, they may save Mulroy now until the second half.
Alderson splits the pair. St. Hugo with just a pair of free throws in the second quarter. That's all the scoring they can muster. Jenna Hart inside, gets her hands on the basketball and draws the foul.
Levitt drew the contact that time, and it's going to be 2 shots, actually. They're lining up for an inbounds, but this should be 2 shots because it occurred in a rebounding situation. So Jenna Hart with a chance to go back to the line. The St. Hugo only with 2 points, though, in this second quarter. And I know that's not going to bode very well for Coach Gasparovic. They need to make some adjustments here at halftime coming up.
And Coach Bisdock wants to make a substitution, but because Jenna Hart is shooting 2, they will wait and make the player changes between the free throws. Hart can't hit the first. And now Sarah Levitt will check out with her second foul, and Alex Hersfeld will come back in. Hart hits the second, and St. Hugo pulls back within 1. 1 minute to play first half. St. Fabian and St. Hugo have had a half full of turnovers just like that last one, and we see it again. Devereaux drives inside and scores.
Ashley Devereaux earned that basket just from pure hustle. Watch Jenna Hart here, bounce pass. Oh, great steal.
Alexis Clayton with the play in the passing lane. She has it poked away though by Sturger. Sturger dribbling down the right side, tries to throw it over the top. Clayton there for another steal.
Now, Sturger waited too long to get it to Jenna Hart that time. She saw her. Now we're going to get a turnover the other way.
Vitalik was trying to dribble along the far sideline and stepped on the line before she was able to get past the defender. 24.3 seconds left.
When you've got a 3-on-1 like that, you got to make the quick pass. Don't wait. What are you waiting for?
Vitalik gets her hands on that one, dives to the floor, gets her hands on it, and on the tie-up, St. Hugo will have it back. Both teams have shown great hustle for all of this first half.
They're leaving it all out on the floor, as they say, that old-time cliche.
Right
nice
in the
pass.
middle, the shot won't go down.
There's Jenna Hart again.
Paskowitz, but Hart is there to put it in.
9 points in this first half, and she's been the difference.
Clayton misses it. She shot that one about 5 seconds before she needed to. There's still 3.3 left on the clock.
Yeah, I don't know if it's enough time for St. Hugo to get up and down the floor.
Vitalik pokes it away. Now just 1.1 left on the clock. This one you almost have to throw it into the front court and hope that you'll be able to get an open look.
No, that shouldn't count.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway, as Hafley could not convert. The first half comes to a close with St. Fabian in front over St. Hugo, 19-18. Both teams' fans have been treated to a fine first half performance. And Jeff, I think whichever team is able to control the basketball and limit their turnovers in the second half will have the best chance to pull ahead.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which adjustments teams come out in the second half. They looked like they both wanted to try to full court press and both wanted to run, but the defense won out, I think, in that first half, particularly in the second quarter.
After one half of play, we've got a 1-point game in the 2002 CYO Basketball Championships.
Education is one of the most important gifts that we can give to our children. It must start early. Catholic schools provide good teachers who care about your children. Catholic schools encourage smaller classes and individual attention. A Catholic school education will teach students good Christian values that they will carry with them for a lifetime. For more information, call your parish school or the Catholic Schools office at 313-237-4676.
Academy, as we have the 2002 CYO championships. St. Fabian with a 1-point lead over Hugo. Jenna Hart driving the left side and lays it in with the left hand.
Yeah, left-handed layup that time. You know, she may be a 7th grader in grade only, but she's playing like an 8th grader right now.
And back the other way, Devereaux on the drive.
Good baskets both ways that time. St. Florian's going to pick up another quick foul here. They got into foul trouble early in the first half, and it ended up costing them a little bit, but not too much. They actually ended up taking the lead, even though they put St. Hugo in the bonus early in the second quarter.
Foul called on Ashley Devereaux, her second. Up-court pass to Alderson, loses the dribble, but Paskowitz there to get it, and then it's stolen away by Devereaux. Vitalik tries to drive up court, and she is fouled. And Jeff, the second half beginning much like we saw the first.
Yeah, just pressure defense going both ways. You're not going to get an easy shot out here, it appears, this afternoon. Both teams playing extremely good defense, and now we see Bridget Mulroy back into the game, running the show as the floor leader for the Falcons. She had those 2 early fouls and didn't see action the rest of the first half.
St. Hugo foul a moment ago on Kelsey Tate, her first. In the corner, poked away by St. Hugo. And everyone in blue and white on the far side with a collective groan.
And Hart has been Jenna on the spot here throughout this first half with 11 points. And she's really been the leader out here.
Vitalik called for the travel. And St. Hugo will inbound against full court pressure from St. Fabian.
Actually, we have Hart now for 12 points. She made a free throw right before the end of the first half.
Tate, cross court. Now she has 14. Jenna Hart has owned the left spot.
The Falcons have to figure out what they're going to do defensively, because every time the last player back steps up to challenge the ball, they've just made the nice bounce pass, and Jenna Hart is making them pay for that.
St. Hugo has pulled back in front. Alderson in the high post draws the triple team, and then the pass unable to be controlled by Tate in the corner. So turnovers, which were a key stat in the first half, also showing up in evidence here in the second half.
The Vikings now with 12 turnovers in the game.
Alderson trying to get another one for St. Hugo, but she touches it last and knocks it out of bounds.
Falcons need to move around a little bit more on offense, I think. They need to create some things.
Paskowitz with the steal. Hayfley driving the middle. And now a pass by Devereaux. Devereaux
Nice switch.
drives all the way in and scores.
She came in dribbling with the left hand and then switched hands and cut to the basket. What a play by Ashley Devereaux.
Tate lost her dribble and was fouled by Allison Hurt.
And Hurt now with 3.
St. Fabian's fouls on number 30.
Costly foul trouble so far for the Falcons throughout this game.
Team second.
Both teams have picked up the pace. Devereaux with another steal. Driving in, stolen away from the backside. Paskowitz on the play, and then we have a tie-up.
Probably could have been a foul. Actually, because I think Devereaux ended up knocking down Paskowitz, and she's very lucky she didn't get called for the foul.
Hayfley.
Hart trying to get loose again. There it is. All good defense that time by Mulroy to step in. And maybe they've made the adjustment that time that they have to come down and get that back pick defense, back checking as we call it in hockey.
Alderson trying to drop it off inside. That leads to another tie-up, and this time we'll head St. Fabian's way.
Yeah, that's the key when you're coming back on the press is that you have to get back defensively and get back to make a play and help that lone player you got back there in the your half of the court.
Liz Mazer back in for St. Hugo, playing with those 3 personal fouls. And then on the far side from the official, Kelsey Tate called for the reach-in.
Oh, it's an interesting strategy here too by Coach Bizdak. He's moved Vitalik out a little bit for some ball handling, but now Mulroy's going to take things from the top here in the half court.
Gets to the free throw line, shot won't go down. Fabian had it for a moment. Now Tate streaking the other way, loses her dribble, but holds on to it. Paskowitz is tripped up on the outside by Amy DeRue. That's her 3rd personal foul.
Already the 3rd team foul too on St. Hugo. We've only played 3 minutes of the 3rd quarter.
These 2 teams have been very close in score all game long. A 1-point affair right now, and we expect it to be tight the rest of the way.
Vitalik that time with a nice step over to knock the ball away. Wow, long skip pass.
Tate winds up with it.
Travel.
Hafley then called for the travel.
Good call by the official that time as she juggled it. Came down with her feet on the jump step.
Tony Gasparovic hoping that the turnovers will subside for her Vikings from Bloomfield Hills St. Hugo.
And they've had 4 here in the early going in the 3rd quarter. Nice pass inside by Mulroy.
A high rainbow shot, no good for Pashuta.
Mulroy got fouled, no call. She got fouled on the putback that time and didn't get the call.
As a result, St. Hugo will have it. St. Fabian applying withering pressure in the backcourt.
Watch the bounce pass inside.
Paskowitz trying to thread the needle to Jenna Hart, who couldn't quite come up with it.
But again, the key is Mulroy getting back and causing some traffic in front of Jenna Hart. She doesn't even have to come up with a steal, but just make that a difficult pass.
Jenna Hart comes up with the steal. The basket will not count. Foul before the shot on the far side.
See, now if I'm Amy DeRue, I'm a little upset too because I think Jenna at that time just did reach out and create the contact with her arm, and Amy DeRue gets called for the foul. I would agree with her that time that she did not initiate the contact.
That's the 4th foul on Amy DeRue. Inside Mazer, just like in the first half, makes that strong, hard cut to the goal and results in the foul.
Well, that's a set play, and it shows Tony Gasparovic's coaching ability. That's a set play off the inbounds. Again, at this stage of the game, players aren't necessarily ready for that inbounds play, ready for something to happen right off the pass inbounds. But DeRue now with the 4th foul. And again, I credit Jenna Hart for going to the basket. That's what you should do. But I would agree with DeRue on that one, that she didn't initiate the contact.
Foul a moment ago was on Jessica Vitalik. That was her 2nd. Mazer hits the free throw. She now has 4 points. And we have a brand new ball game with 2:23 to play in the 3rd quarter. Now St. Hugo on top by 1.
Full court pressure again by St. Hugo. Very aggressive, but look at this getaway.
Devereaux comes from the left side, scores.
Ashley Devereaux showing some great ability out here because she can dribble with both hands and cause problems. That's a travel.
Ashley Devereaux with 10 points, and then Paskowitz lifted her pivot foot. Walt Bizdock applauding his St. Fabian Falcons back in front.
Mulroy with a long 3 hits the front iron.
Tate with a good job to snare that rebound after it went down to the deck. Now she'll bring it up the middle of the court and slow it down for St. Hugo.
That's a well-disciplined play right there. You don't have the numbers, don't force it.
Mazer, high post, gets it to Hart. Low block, she can't get it to go down. Hafley shot missed, but she draws the foul.
I think that's going to be Devereaux. Just her 2nd. I'll make that 3 now.
It is the 3rd on Ashley Devereaux. Lizzie Hafley.
6th team foul though here, and we're still just under the 2-minute mark of the 3rd quarter.
Hafley back rims the first.
At the line, she's shooting 2.
And
Coach,
this will bring in substitutions as Sarah Levitt checks in and Vitalik goes out.
Coach Bisdock, though, proved in the first half he likes to go a little, he doesn't mind going deep in the bench, and it paid off for him in the first half as they took the lead.
7 big points off the bench in that first half for Alexis Clayton. We expect to see her sometime here in the second half.
And the good news is Mulroy's gotten through most of this third quarter without picking up foul number 3.
Mazer blocked the shot attempt from Devereaux, loose on the court, ripped away by Fabian. Triple team in the corner, but a nice pass inside. The shot rolls and goes for Allison Hurt.
What a big bucket that time. Allison Hurt realizing that she's going to be under some pressure. Just, again, a smart play. Didn't put the basketball on the floor, as is often the case. You'll see big players in the middle try to get a little bit closer and want to put the ball on the floor. She didn't do that, went up strong, and got hacked on the way.
St. Hugo calls timeout. They trail by 2. St. Fabian has been able to get much better shots since midway through the second quarter.
We saw the first quarter was pretty high scoring, 13-10, and then the second quarter was only 9-5 in favor of Fabian. Now we're in the third quarter again, and they kind of picked up the scoring pace, attacking the basket a little more aggressively. Now, was that a case that the defenses were just wearing the offense down and really, playing out high in the second quarter? Well, we see that again in the fourth. That'll be interesting in terms of which team really can turn it up defensively.
Nice bounce pass to Hurt. Look at the triple team from Hugo. And
somebody's got to be open.
The good find from Pashuta, and Hurt able to bank it in.
Bank it in and drew the foul on the way in. That's a big play, especially if she can convert here. This is a game, I think, if one team makes a run of a half dozen points or more, they may be able to hold on then and really ice this game a bit, because they'll force the other team to try to really put some pressure on themselves offensively.
Hurt hits the free throw.
In, out, and in.
And free throw shooting could be pivotal as well, particularly for St. Hugo, because 16 fouls already against St. Fabian.
Nice look inside.
High post, her shot won't go down. Jenna Hart, Jenna on the spot.
Once again, a good block that time by St. Fabian, but Jenna Hart right where she needs to be, collecting that offensive rebound and going right back up with it.
And you have to love the hustle that Liz Mazer has played with, as she made a lunging attempt a moment ago as well. She'll grab a breather as Catherine Alderson comes back in.
Yeah, that was a good shot she took. It just got swatted away inside that time by Mulroy. 16 points for Hart in this game, though. She's been huge.
Levitt off the glass. First bucket of the ball game for Sarah Levitt.
I'm just impressed with the discipline that girls on both sides play with.
Hart fouled again inside. Jenna Hart has lived one step away from the basket on the left side, and she's made a terrific living at that in this game. She has 16 points.
Yeah, that's a good call, too, by the officials that time, as Mulroy got there and indeed was standing straight up, but she got there, and as she was assuming her position, she bumped into Jenna Hart. But Hart knows what to do on that low block with the basketball.
Too strong on the free throw.
I'll say if she stays with her pattern here, she misses the first one and then she sinks the second each time, it seems. Clayton back into the ball game now, and Mulroy will sit down, it looks like, for the rest of the third quarter. Alexis gave him a big lift in that first half.
Hart can't hit the free throws, but a tie ball on the alternate possession. St. Fabian will keep it.
Big trap here. Look at that.
Alderson with the steal. Hafley gives it up top to Tate. She'll try a long triple, wide right. Hart pokes it away, tries to save it, can't do it before it goes out of bounds, and Clayton winds up taking a seat on the St. Hugo bench.
Clayton that time couldn't come up with the ball, and Hart, hustle play almost did for St. Hugo.
Clayton will try a three, almost banks it in.
There's Hart.
And Allison Hart able to put it up and in.
Hugo's going to have to hurry here. 3 seconds.
Tate
Not going to get it off.
can't get a shot away. St. Fabian with a terrific third quarter has pulled in front by 5. Tony Gasparovic will have to make some adjustments if St. Hugo is going to come from behind in the 2002 CYO championship.
Well, JJ, to give you some indication, St. Hugo had 13 points in the first quarter. They've only had 14 points in the next 2. So it really shows how Fabian's turned up the defensive pressure, and consider that they went into, St. Hugo went into the bonus and had a lot of free chances at the free throw line that they couldn't convert on. Meanwhile, for St. Hugo, they had 10 after the end of the first quarter. They've scored 22 since, difference of 8. And that's set up a 5-point difference in the game. So it's really impressive, the defense that we've seen from both teams. But St. Fabian's defense in the half court has been exceptional. Where they've gotten burned most of the time is in that full court press, and Jenna Hart's made them pay with 16 points.
However, she has 16 of the 27, and most of those have come in the transition game. These are terrific memories that you can enjoy for years to come. These young ladies doing a terrific job, giving their all. Contact the Catholic Television Network of Detroit, 305 Michigan Avenue, Detroit, Michigan, 48226. And make sure you purchase a video cassette copy of this contest and put it in your own personal video archive.
313-237. Almost got the last 4. 5938. Last 4 digits, thank you.
Walt Bisdock looking on. His St. Fabian Falcons in front by 5 as we begin the fourth quarter.
Oh, Hugo needs a big basket right here. Fabian came in very confident after 3.
Hafley
Almost a big one.
almost got it to go down. The rebound to Allison Hurt. Now a steal by Tate and a collision on the far side. Everyone getting up as Allison Hurt not hurt on the play.
Fortunately, yeah, she looked like she slipped over there. I wonder if there's some water on that sideline. But she went down and almost tackled Kelsey Tate that time, and neither player hurt. That's good news.
I have Allison Hurt with 4.
Yeah,
and now
that's
the
correct.
scores table confirms it. And so she will check out as Alex Hersfeld will come back in.
Levitt also taking a seat as Vitalik back, presumably for the rest of the game.
Free throw up and through for Kelsey Tate. Her first point of the contest.
I'll see, the bonus occurred pretty early in the second quarter and now early in the fourth quarter for Hugo, but they need to make them pay at the free throw line if it's going to work for them.
Tate missed a pair in the first half, but drains these two at a very critical juncture for St. Hugo.
About to be triple teamed, but able to get through it. Oh my. She had 2 players open down low, and she saw it and just threw it just a little too long.
They've had some terrific football teams over the years.
Nice steal.
Here at Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and that time Mulroy looked like a quarterback. Vitalik off the bench, called for the travel.
Well, that's unfortunate because Jessica came up with a nice steal that time, and they were ready to turn it around and go at it offensively. Now they drop back the pressure a little bit, try to pick things up in a half-court trap.
And it leads to a steal. Vitalik has it. Driving down the right wing, he puts up the shot. No good, but a foul called against St. Hugo as Hafley forced to reach in to try and stop the driving Jessica Vitalik.
They're going to say it was on the floor, too. It won't be 2 shots. It occurred before the basket. I was going to say, legitimately, you could have called 2 fouls on that play if she got hacked as she went up for the shot, but they'll call the first one that was on the floor. Trouble getting it in bounds. Nice play by Mulroy.
And she's able to score.
Good catch and shoot. She's got only 6 points in the game, but they've been 6 big points. And now a 5-point advantage for Fabian.
Kelsey Tate gives it over to Hafley. She'll launch a 3. Rims out. Hart fighting for the rebound. And we have a loose ball foul called inside.
That's Jenna. She's going to pick that one up. They're fighting for position down there. That's one that usually the player on the back is going to get called for the foul.
And if you're a coach, you have to like the way, though, that your players are going after loose basketballs.
Yeah, you can't fault that foul. I think it's a little early, though, for Hugo to be launching up 3s. They're only down 5 at this point. They just need to turn up the defensive pressure.
Inside, First foul, can't get it to go down. Rebound battle. Wound up in the hands of Hugo momentarily.
We're going to get a foul going the other way. Jenna Hart came away with that rebound. And again, just, you know, rebounding isn't about size because she's far from the biggest player on the floor. It's about position. Always has been, always will be. Now, obviously, if you're 5'6" and trying to rebound a guy against a guy who's 7'2", you might lose a lot of those battles. But, you know, if there's just a little discrepancy, it's a lot about positioning, and she knows the position she needs to be in.
Hart hits the first.
Drained it.
Rebounding also about desire. You have to want to be able to get to where the basketball is likely to be, and normally that means fighting with someone for position.
Yeah, you got to learn to play the caroms.
Hart splits the pair. Ahead of everyone is Bashuta. She lays it in.
Well, you know, Fabian's made another great adjustment on the pressure, is that they've really tried to get the basketball up the floor. Vitalik with a good move that time. Got kicked in the stomach, I think, on the foul.
Liz Mazer called for the personal, I do believe.
But you notice the adjustment that they, it looked like in the first half, Fabian wasn't looking to get the basketball up the floor as quickly. They were content to just try to break the pressure with their ball handlers. Now you see them when they get, you know, between the circles in their end of the court, they're looking up to make plays, and they're finding people open up the floor.
That foul was called on Liz Mazer. That was her fifth, so she has fouled out with 5 points, and she's been one of the strong interior players for St. Hugo. They'll have to go without her the rest of the stretch. Walt Bisdock encouraging his St. Fabian Falcons, who lead by 6 with just 4:26 to play.
Yeah, the irony is that Florian's got maybe close to twice as many fouls, but Mazer's from Hugo's the first player to foul out. And it's a long, tough road. You know, they've played, now this is their 21st game of the season, and you could see the emotion she felt on the sideline. She didn't want to foul out of a championship game. She wanted to be here right till the bitter end. Nice season, though, for Liz Mazer, and regardless of what happens here in the final, 4:26.
Coach Bisdock encouraging the crowd. As we mentioned in the open, we're surrounded by the Fabian faithful.
We might end up standing here the rest of the game before too long, JJ. Not that we're on one side or the other, just to see over all the placards and signs in front of us.
Vitalik misses the first free throw. The second one rims home.
Biggest lead of the night now.
Hafley keeping her dribble alive and gets it into the offensive end for St. Hugo.
Wise play, too, to pull it back out. Let's set up your offense. Let's be patient. Don't rush anything. There's still lots of time on the clock.
But the Vikings need to make the most of every possession. Hafley gets to the elbow, misses the jumper. Rebound inside, last touched by Jenna Hart. It will head the other way for St. Fabian.
Hirschfeld dealt with another great box out that time on Hart, knowing that she's right there. She boxed her out, and even though she didn't come up with the basketball, forced to play out of bounds.
Mulroy throws it over the top. And we have a foul called out on the wing against Amy Sturger.
And that's going to put the Falcons in the bonus here the rest of the way, so they can score without any time coming off the clock, which I guess the clock, they want to keep running right now in their favor. But nevertheless, anytime you got a chance to get some free points, you're going to take it.
Amy Sturger called for the foul. She will head to the bench as Alderson comes back in. Bashuta brings down Rain with that shot, but can't get it to go down.
Stepped on the baseline.
Alderson right there. And the official in perfect position to make the call. So St. Fabian maintains possession.
Again, you can't really fault that play. I mean, that's just hustle on both teams today is what we've seen. Travel.
Ashley Devereaux right in front of the official.
14 turnovers now for St. Fabian. They've done a pretty good job here taking care of the basketball throughout most of the second half, as evidenced by their 7-point lead now. And they're still coming up with the trap, and they're really forcing the Vikings to try to do something special.
Vitalik down the lane.
That was special. And now we just have a turnover here. The Vikings are close to coming unglued now. I mean, they've just been frustrated here, particularly in the last 5 or 6 minutes of basketball by a Fabian defense that has just turned it up. And we said that in the second half. I think the team that is really going to turn up the job defensively in the fourth quarter is going to win this game. And right now, St. Hugo with a big 9-point deficit to try to overcome.
And they'll have to do it in just 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and they'll have to do it without their starting center, Liz Mazer, who has fouled out. A terrific steal by Vitalik, and then drives right down the lane. The one-handed floater results in a big basket for St. Fabian.
But, you know, Vitalik's the fourth player back, and that just shows she's watching what's going on the floor, watching where the flow is going, and trying to get a feel for where that Hugo pass might go if they don't get the trap established. And she's made 3 or 4 steals in a row here in the last 5 minutes that have just been key.
And really, it has been the unrelenting pressure of St. Fabian. At times, it has led to easy baskets, most evidenced by Jenna Hart, but it's also given them enough turnovers to more than pay off in terms of coaching strategy for Walt Bisdock.
It led to a lot of easy baskets in the first half. There haven't been that many here in the second.
Paskowitz tipped it away, and they say last touch by St. Fabian.
And I think the key has been, when we were just talking about Vitalik, that fourth player back has been stepping up and forcing them to make the pass, forcing them to make bad passes. Again, right here, look at the defense out high.
Cross-court pass intended for Hart. Hit off a couple of red jerseys on its way out of bounds.
Yeah, they're getting back now and making that low baseline pass very difficult.
Hafley with a ball fake and jumper. Won't go down. Hart fighting for the rebound, but she can't keep it in bounds.
Well, she's had a big game for him, 17 points here tonight. And just 1 foul for a player who's just been all over the boards like she has. Look up here.
Pashuta.
Tough shot.
Misses the layup. And we have a rebounding foul inside. And we will walk to the other end.
Pashuta that time worried about herself worried about where the defense was coming from, and she didn't adjust to the basket close enough to get a good shot. It was a tough shot.
Also some tough luck because she put it off the glass and it just spun out on her.
3:02 to go. There's really still plenty of time, and I'm sure that's what Coach Tony Gasparovic told her team. You know, there's still plenty of time here, but we're going to have to kick it up a little bit.
Paskowitz made 1 of 2 free throws in the first half. She'll shoot 2 here. Cannot make it. And if you're St. Hugo, that's one of the things that you really have to look back upon with regret. The fouls against St. Fabian have led them to the free throw line, but they have not been able to convert often enough.
At this age, I guess if you're hitting probably 50% of your free throws, you're probably doing pretty good. But they've come away with a lot of 0-2 opportunities.
15 missed free throws for St. Hugo.
And now looks like a little bit of letting the air out of the ball for St. Fabian, which is a smart move at this point. They've got a 9-point lead. They've been playing great defense. Force St. Hugo to come out and make things happen like that. But you know, that's unfortunate, but they were able to take about 20 seconds off the clock along the way.
Walt Bisdock.
Great steal.
Hoping that St. Fabian can claim the championship. Devereaux drives the left side. Her shot no good. Rebound battle. Devereaux got her own back, but then traveled before she could get the shot up.
Yeah, Ashley's eyes were probably a little bit bigger than they needed to be on that play. It probably would have been just as wise to pull that ball back out and force St. Hugo to set up defensively.
Tate.
Long 3.
Was on line, just a little bit short. Vitalik had the rebound. Now it's loose on the court. Tate picks it up. She'll try another 3. That's off the front iron. Devereaux the rebound. She has it poked away and will head to the other end to shoot free throws. 2 good looks at a 3 that time by Kelsey Tate. She just couldn't knock it down.
Well, you know, one of the things that when you see Jessica Vitalik, she's done a great job on the boards tonight, but one of the things that I think a lot of players don't do anymore is when they come down with the basketball, they're quickly looking for that pass. And that's fine, but if it isn't there, wrap the ball up and hold on to it and force them to come inside and try to foul you. You know, instead of, you know, you used to see players almost bend over and just wrap the ball up, knowing that full well that the ref's going to call a foul if somebody tries to reach in on you. And you don't see that as much anymore. They're quickly looking for that you know, outlet pass. Videotapes, by the way, if you would like to have a great memory of this game, and they are wonderful keepsakes. CTND, 305 Michigan Avenue, Detroit, Michigan, 48226, or call 313-237-5938 Monday through Friday. They'll get you set up. It's a pretty good deal and a great way to remember watching these young ladies out here performing at their finest, and they're only going to get better. All these girls, with the exception of a couple, on their way to high school next year.
And to be able to watch these at family gatherings and allow aunts, uncles, grandparents who might not be able to attend the games to see what these girls are able to do on the basketball court, tremendous experience. Levitt got the rebound inside, couldn't get the shot to go down. Devereaux tracks it down. You know, 2 minutes to play.
That's the other difference for the Falcons. They've just owned the boards here in the second half.
Tate throws it up ahead. Paskowitz tracks it down, gets free inside, shot rims out. Hafley the rebound. Her follow will go.
Nice job by Hafley that time, but they're going to have to turn some pressure up here are the Vikings. There's just too many openings on the floor. Their defense, their press now is kind of melded into this 5-person line that's lined up out there. And you notice they've gotten a little bit away from playing team basketball now, which is what got them here. Each girl's kind of taking it upon her own shoulders to try to win the game, and it's not going to happen if you continue to do that. You got to play team basketball.
Levitt has it poked away, gets it back, gets into the lane, and is called for the travel before she can get the shot off.
Sarah almost pulled off a little Harlem Globetrotters right there. I mean, she had the ball going every which way and just about got a shot off and put it in. There's Vitalik, though, again, stepping up on that second pass and causing problems for St. Hugo. She has been the defensive star here in the second half, no doubt about it.
And despite the lead, St. Fabian has not given up on pressure. Tate will keep trying that three from the left wing. This one rims out as well. Vitalik another rebound.
They have owned the boards. It's pretty much been one and done. And now with 1:09 to go and still a 7-point lead, St. Fabian looking really good.
St. Fabian last won a CYO championship 10 years ago. They are now just 1 minute away from doing it again as Devereaux scores.
She's had a big game for him, particularly here in the second half.
8 in the second half, 12 in the game for Devereaux. Tate finally hits from there.
Now it's going to bring it back to 6. And Coach Gasparovic's going to call a timeout with 49 seconds to go. But they need a huge steal pretty much on the inbounds here and try to draw a little bit closer. I mean, they're 2 possessions down, but that's only the second 3 they've hit the entire game. So you really can't count on that as, you know, they're essentially 3 possessions down right now when you think about it.
You can hope that you get 2 steals and 2 threes, but that's very unrealistic. And you have to suspect that St. Hugo, if they can't get quick steals, are going to need to foul. And then St. Fabian will head to the free throw line with a chance to seal this game. There you see Devereaux with a nice drive from the left side. And then the other way, Tate has been firing from there all second half and finally knocked one down.
You know, the difference, though, that time is she had her feet. She was square to the basket. I mean, she looked comfortable shooting that shot. She's rushed a couple of other ones. And that time, Ashley Tate looked very good taking that shot. And it came at a big time.
And a technical has been called against St. Hugo. They had no timeouts left when they called that last timeout.
Now, I'm surprised why they allowed them to continue the timeout, even though they had no timeouts left. Very interesting by the officials, the fact that usually that call's made just right away. No timeouts. Sorry, you don't get a timeout, and you do get the technical foul. Interesting.
Mulroy misses the free throw. One more would essentially ice it for St. Fabian and make it a 3-possession game.
Well, they're going to get the free throw here and the possession. So, especially if they can do something with this possession and put the ball in the hole, or at the very least take time off the clock.
And the scores table now buzzing
They want
furiously.
somebody. I don't know who they're going to get, though, at this point, because the officials, there's the official coming over.
There's 5 on the floor for each side.
Yeah, it's very interesting that they allowed the timeout to continue. I mean, usually the scores table will tell the officials right away, so, you know, they don't have any timeouts left. That should be a technical foul.
Pashuta tracks it down in the corner, and she's fouled right away by Paskowitz, as she wanted to make sure that the whistle would blow to make sure that the clock stops.
Well, the Falcons have really put 4 quarters together here today, and that's been the difference. Both offensively and defensively, they've really done the job. 10 points here in the 4th, keeping Hugo at bay. Hugo with only 8 thus far.
Pashuta with 4 points in the game. That was the 10th team foul on St. Hugo, so the Falcons will shoot 2 the rest of the way. Nice arc on the shot from Lauren Pashuta, and then dead center as it came down.
Well, that's an 8-point advantage now with 45 seconds if she hits this one. Oh, they get the rebound though.
Mulroy's follow won't go. Vitalik has it knocked away, then Pashuta is fouled again.
Oh, they lose another 4 seconds, but they go back to the free throw line. I'm waiting to see a smile from Coach Bizdock over there. His assistants have been smiling. His girls have been smiling, but I haven't seen him crack one yet.
I think we're 41.2 seconds away from seeing a smile.
You know, before the game, the coach was afraid to tell me their record because he didn't think it was very good at 14-5. I thought it was exceptional, and they've played exceptional here tonight.
The other side, Tony Gasparovic.
They've had a great season too, though. 16-4. Second place in the Christmas tournament at Birmingham Marion High School. Had a great year. Anytime you get to this point, there's nothing to be ashamed about. Whichever way the score ends up, you've had a great season.
And 16 wins on the year for St. Hugo. And to be able to do that is a tremendous accomplishment to this entire team. Jenna Hart can't hit the free throw. She's a 7th grader, as is Paskowitz and Alderson. So
both
some experience coming back for St. Hugo.
All 3 key players on this team, and they'll come back with a great deal of experience next year.
Hart hits the second.
You'd have to imagine that's going to go a long way to making them the favorite to win next year. Good pressure now by Hugo. They need it. It's not going to be enough, though.
Vitalik tumbling down. Even with an 8-point lead and 30 seconds left, the Fabian crowd can't believe that they called her for traveling. The official said that she moved that pivot foot before she tumbled down.
Coach Bizdock out there hollering at his team, saying no threes, no threes.
Paskowitz tries a 3, almost banks it in. Levitt the rebound. Outlets to Mulroy. Great dribbling right in the middle of everyone. She maintained possession and drew the foul.
Took about 3 or 4 seconds with her, waited for the defense, and now Fabian's starting to feel it. And you see the Coach Bizdock's going to clear his bench. We're going to get some young ladies in the CYO championship game. I love to see this happen. And now Coach Gasparovic's going to do the same. It's a great thing. Clear the benches, let everybody get a chance to step on the floor.
Mulroy hits the first.
It's a great show of sportsmanship. You know, I mean, an 8-point lead with 15 seconds to go. No way the outcome's going to be altered whatsoever. But get some young ladies out there that have worked hard all season. They've been to practice. They're as much a part of the team as the girls who have helped win this championship on the floor today. I'd like to see this happen.
And you can't underestimate the contributions they make that don't show up in games by having to handle the scouting drills in practice and making sure that they get their teammates prepared to play in the games.
One reason why the starting young ladies are as good as they are is because they're being pushed by the young ladies behind them on the bench.
The Fabian fans counting down the final seconds. The Falcons win the 2002 CYO Girls Basketball Championship.
Well, I still haven't seen a smile yet. I'm looking for one. Come on, Coach, there it is.
Plenty of smiles on the faces of the young women for St. Fabian.
They earned this one here today, a 10-point victory, and they began to dominate this game in the second quarter, took it over in the third, got a 5-point advantage, and then just really sealed the deal in the fourth. Just a tremendous defensive performance.
You were looking for smiles. There were a whole lot of them there, and the St. Hugo fans applauding as well. Both teams, as they are to be congratulated, and now they'll shake hands. St. Hugo, a terrific season. They finish at 16-5. They beat Fabian earlier in the year, but the second go-round went to the Falcons.
So much emotion, but as we said earlier, these girls on the Vikings team have nothing at all to be upset about. And, you know, a couple hours are going to pass. They're going to go get something to eat and realize that they had a great year. They made it to the championship game, and they got beat by a team that played better today. That's the simple truth. And when you played sports, and they already understand that. You played sports long enough. Teams come out and play better than you got to hand it to them, and that's exactly what happened here with St. Fabian today, but nothing at all. I mean, St. Hugo, especially with three key players back next year, they may be back in this championship game. They lost in the semifinals here last year, losing the final here this year. Maybe 2003 is their year.
St. Fabian with their second CYO championship. They won in 1992 and again in 2002. And now, let's join the public address as these young ladies are congratulated for their performances and their accomplishments during this basketball season.
This past 2001-2002 season, 583 boys and girls teams participated in CYO basketball. Today, we salute and congratulate them along with their coaches for their dedication, effort, and sportsmanship throughout the season. A special thank you to the countless volunteers who helped CYO with its motto of getting kids and communities into something good. Congratulations to coaches and teams. And now let's meet the 2002 Girls CYO Tournament runner-up, the Vikings of Bloomfield St. Hugo's, and head coach Tony Esposito. And now let's meet the 2002 Girls CYO champions, the Falcons of St. Fabian. And head coach, Rob Blizzard. Team trophies are awarded, and on behalf of Butcher Lake St. Mary's, championship banners to the champions of the CYO Girls Tournament, St. Fabian.
Congratulations to St. Fabian. Stay tuned. We have the 2002 CYO Award Ceremony coming up.
I'd like to remind you that we're going to have the Scholar Athlete presentations before the start.
For all of the great scholar athletes in the Catholic Youth Organization, for all of their accomplishments both on the court and in the classroom.
As great of a championship as we saw here today, you know, the important thing is what they do in the classroom, because that's obviously what stays with them the rest of their lives. As athletes, you may or may not go on, but you take your education with you, and I think that's so important, and something that the Detroit Catholic League does such a good job of, is rewarding those who do well in the classroom, those athletes who come out and give it all out on the floor, but also give it all in the classroom.
These are terrific memories, and they make for wonderful tales in the years to come, but it's the work that you put in the classroom, day in and day out, that builds that foundation for future life success. A packed house here at Orchard Lake St. Mary's, as parents and fans and everyone else has come out for some great basketball, and also for the award ceremonies, as all of these young people are going to be congratulated and rewarded for their accomplishments. Trying to get everyone to clear the floor so that they can have all of these Scholar Athlete Awards presented out, and let all of those Scholar Athletes get to come out onto the hardwood and receive their awards.
Easier said than done, it looks like.
All you have to do is follow directions. But as any educator will tell you, sometimes that's easier said than done.
Indeed.
They are forming a line along the far side to make sure that all of the boys and girls who have done so well throughout the 2001-2002 academic year are going to get their moment to shine. See all the happy faces on those who have taken part in grammar schooling in all of the many fine grade schools across the Metro Detroit area.
A tremendous number, no doubt. We see a parade similar to this during football season too, and they just keep coming and coming and coming along. That's great.
Some of them dressed to get ready to compete, others dressed as you might expect to see them in school on any given weekday. Let's join the public address for the presentation of the 2002 CYO Scholar Athlete Awards.
200 CYO athletes have or will receive the Scholar Athlete Award. This award is given to athletes who maintain a 3.0 or higher grade point average and participate on a CYO sports team. We are proud to say that there are 97 winner Scholar athletes. Presenting the Scholar Jill Schultz, St. Thomas Aquinas. Shamika Alzwerki from St. Bede's. Stephanie Panya from Taylor Catholic. Tim Mize from Livonia St. Michael's. Ryan Estes, Our Lady of Refuge. Rosemary Kendrick, Our Lady of Refuge. Emily Smith from Marist Academy. Jessica Walker from Marist Academy. Chelsea Gonzalez, Livonia St. Michael's. Stephen Carter from St. Agatha's. Erica Lemansky from St. Agatha. Kevin Nabersick from St. Lawrence. Bethany Brigsta from Sacred Heart. Shane Dwyer from St. Fabian. Timothy Crater from Sacred Heart. Richard Barrett from St. Ambrose Academy. Kristen Gallup from St. Stephen's. Connie Pricken from St. Falca. Amanda Somerville from St. Benedict's. Christopher Boschnick from Christ the Good Shepherd. Jeff Miller, St. Falca. David Griffin, St. Jude. Tori Rexford, Our Lady of the Lakes Middle School. Ryan Brown, West Middle School. Stacy Holinsky, St. Alphonsus. Blake Bittinger, Riley Middle School. Teresa Morosso, Riley Middle School. Bart Benani, Arthur's Middle School. James Lockman, St. Pius X. Travis Hike from Guardian Angels. Ryan Schwartz, St. Dennis. Michael Kaiser from Parcells Middle School. Caitlin Bennett from Parcells Middle School. Rachel DeMonte from St. Joan of Arc. Jason Aubrey from St. Joan of Arc. Robert Fairley from Power Middle School. Charles Leonard III from St. Benedict's. Luke Meanies from Our Lady of Sorrow. Alexandria Dinsgo from Divine Child Elementary. Bob Nowicki from Divine Child. Sarah Nilicki from Guardian Angels. Stacy Terenzi from St. Vincent Ferrer. Jessica Earlis from St. Raphael. Patrick Troy from Our Lady Queen of Martyrs. Elizabeth Feldman from Our Lady Queen of Martyrs. Kenise Federa from Our Lady of Sorrows. Ryan Calkin from St. Bede's. Thomas J. Sikowski from Our Lady Queen of Apostles. Caitlin Dembski, Our Lady Queen of Apostles. Bo Wozik from Taylor Catholic. Richard E. Smith Jr. from Thompson Middle School. Sarah Duke from Trenton St. Joseph's. Krista Stewart from St. Clement's. Daniel Omancy from St. Clement's. Amanda Hanks, St. Anne. Ali Baraki. Matthew Congratulations to all of our scholar athletes. Let's give them a big hand. We have the CYO Boys Championship game, which will start in approximately 20 minutes. This is Warren St. Anne's versus Livonia St. Edith. Game will start in approximately 20 minutes.
Congratulations to all of the 2002 CYO Scholar Athlete Award winners. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Congratulations to the 2002 CYO Girls Basketball Champions, the Falcons from St. Fabian. Ashley Devereaux with 12 points, Bridget Mulroy with 9 to lead the scoring way. But the terrific job on the defensive end for St. Fabian, able to lead them to victory over St. Hugo. For Jeff Hager and our entire crew, this is J.J. Boehm signing off from Orchard Lake St. Mary's Preparatory Academy. Congratulations again to St. Fabian, the 2002 champions of the CYO Girls Basketball.